Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'll get to the propagations in a second. I actually just wanted to pop on and say thank you to everybody who has watched my videos and who has liked and subscribed. I've gotten to know a bunch of you through the comments and stuff and through Instagram, and it's been really great seeing all of your propagations and hearing all of your questions. Yeah, it's been fun. In the last few days, I also kind of breached that 100 subscriber mark, and it may not seem like a lot, but like I don't even know 100 people in real life, so it's a lot to me. So I just wanted to jump on and say thanks to everybody who has been watching. I know that these Pink Princess propagation videos have been pretty hot, and you've all been really interested to see updates and stuff. This will probably be the last update for these cuttings. I will be posting a video of me potting them up, but yeah, I think they're pretty much ready to be potted up, so that'll be the next video. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Welcome back to another episode of Hands Touching Plants. Look at my hands touch that plant. Look at my hands touch that plant. Just kidding, I have gross hands. So let's dive in first with the Pink Princess cuttings. I know in the last video that I said that they're pretty much ready to be potted up. And they are. Most of these are. But I haven't had time. You know? I've had life to live. And there's Animal Crossing to be played, so I haven't gotten around to potting them up yet, but I will. I'll get around to it. You know, that'll be the next video. It'll be a Pink Princess potting video. So many P's. So if we take a look at these cuttings, it's a little dark in here, but I have like a huge light on them. I don't know. If we take a look at these cuttings, you'll see that the roots have continued to grow. They're looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these have rooted. They are ready to be potted, I think. I was talking to someone on Instagram about these, and they said that they potted them up when the roots were this size too, and that they did pretty well, so I'm going to do that next. This cutting in particular, I think it might have been the top. It's put out 2 new leaves that are coming in. You can see them right here. But I don't really see much pink variegation in them. So when Pink Princesses put out new leaves, you'll be able to kind of tell from the leaves if there will be any pink variegation in it, because you'll see kind of like a lighter area. This one actually does seem a little lighter, but they're still pretty young, like they haven't even opened up yet. So they could change, they could grow into more pink, there could be pink inside there. And actually this one is pretty light, so who knows? That looks a little pinky right in there. We'll see how that goes. But so far, this is the only cutting that has put out any new growth. But I'm super excited about that. That looks pretty promising. So those are my pretty promising Pink Princess propagation cuttings. Alliteration. So next, let's take a look at these. These are my Peperomia Hope cuttings. I did a video about propagating Peperomia Hope, and you can check that out in the description below. These have been in here for about 4 weeks, I think. The last time that we looked at these, which was 2 weeks ago, there wasn't any new growth on any of them. So let's take a look now. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but how close can I get? Right here, this little white part right there, that is actually a root. So they are growing, at least, well, this one is growing. Who knows about all of those ones, but this one has a root, and I don't plan on taking up every single one of those, so if we go by this one, I would say that most of them have roots. Let's try a few more, and we'll see. Let's take this big guy. Oh no, if I take this out, it's just gonna mess up my whole beautiful arrangement. Okay, what's happening? Oh my goodness. Okay, so these two are connected by roots. So that's great. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have so many Peperomia Hopes. What have I done? I'm gonna be surrounded in Peperomia Hope, which really isn't a bad thing. I originally took these cuttings because my Peperomia Hope doesn't have too many vines on it. It's kind of small, and I really wanted a bushy one. I really like these. These are one of my favorite plants, and the mother plant looks really good. I'll show you a video of it at the end. And it's growing back really well. So hopefully I get a lot of these and I can fill out that Peperomia Hope. And oh, it's gonna be so great, so nice and full. Maybe I'll give some of these to some friends and family as well, but we'll see. Let's take a look at one more. So we've got this one, and oh yeah, look at that. That's a root. That's a root right here, and a root right there. That's looking really good. So if you want to propagate these, you propagate them like succulents. You can propagate them in water, but you need to get the petiole part of the leaf when you're cutting it off. You can see it in my video, how I propagate these. But you have to put that in water. This part can't sit in water because it'll just rot. So it's easier to propagate these like you would a succulent by just kind of laying them in soil and putting the petiole in soil. So that's kind of what I did here. And I've been keeping this moist, as you can tell by the gross moss that has started to grow all over the outside of the pot. I've been keeping them moist, and I guess it's been paying off, so that's really good. Next, let's take a look at this red Maranta, and oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay, don't look at that. That's embarrassing. We're just gonna cut that right off. Yoink. So if we look at these were ready to pot up in the last video, and I probably should have. I'm just gonna throw them back into the same pot that my other red Maranta is in. These were just like a couple of long pieces that were getting too long and unruly, so I cut them off to root them. They're ready to be potted, but yeah. And these root pretty readily for me. I've rooted them before. There's really not much to them. You just kind of cut them off and you put them in water and they'll start to root for you. They're pretty easy. Next, let's take a look at this VINCA vine. Again, last time that we did this video, it was ready to be potted. Just like the red Maranta, I'm gonna throw these into the same pot that my other VINCA vine is in. So yeah, those roots look great, really healthy. That's ready to be potted. So in my potting video, which I will get to, these will also be potted up. These are the neon pothos that were in the Pink Princess cuttings. Originally, I wasn't gonna do anything with them, but now I think I'm actually gonna put them in a pot and put them somewhere in the basement. Just because I don't have a neon pothos, these cuttings are from my mom's. And you can see here that they all have a really nice root system. They're pretty much ready to be potted. So yeah, that's been pretty good too. Let's take a look now at this money tree cutting. So not much has happened with this. There hasn't been much progress. Oh, never mind. Look at that. All I had to do was turn it around and see some roots that I'd never seen before. So that looks good. That looks promising. These root really slowly, at least they do for me. They also tend to grow kind of slowly for me. They're not one of the faster growing plants that I have, at least in my experience. I know some people have them and they just shoot up like grass, but for me, I think I just don't have bright enough light for these guys to really thrive in. But this cutting will just go in the bottom of my big one that I have. And it's like a full tree size. It's probably like 5 feet tall or something like that. And I'll just go right in the bottom and start a new tree right beside it. So this is a chocolate AGLAONEMA that I took 2 weeks ago. And it's from my sister's plant. This one just kind of fell off. I've never rooted AGLAONEMA before. But I read on the internet that you can just plunk it in water and it should grow roots. But as you can see, there is nothing here. Nothing here yet. So I don't really know if this will root or not. Again, I've never rooted these before, so I'm not sure if it will even water propagate, because it seems like it would do better by like division, but we'll see. And these are my Philodendron MICANS, so they have the dark velvety leaves. I took a bunch of cuttings of these, and let's see if we have any roots. So we've got a couple roots here. Nothing too crazy. I have rooted these in the past, and I found that they take a really long time to root. So I'm not too worried. Like, this one looks really good, actually. Let's pull this one out. So we'll put those ones back in. Oh, okay, well. So this one actually looks pretty good. It's got the starts of some roots there. And you root these like you would a pothos, so you just kind of cut them off where there's a node, and you put that node, I don't know if you can see, I don't know what's up with my lighting today. So you put that node in water and it will sprout roots. And they do root well. I've just noticed that they take their time rooting, that's all. Oh dear. This one isn't even attached to anything, and it doesn't even have an aerial root. That's just garbage. So these all have tiny little roots. I don't know if you can see them, but they all have the startings of a root system. So that's good. Again, I think these will take a lot longer than some of the other stuff to root, but I have rooted them in the past and they do take a while for me. So there's that. Okay, I've also got these PEPEROMIA obtusifolia. So you can propagate these by leaf cuttings, sort of in the same way that we propagate this Peperomia hope, by cutting the leaves off and putting the petioles or the stems into soil. But I decided to water propagate them just for the heck of it. So I chopped the tops off. Oh, how am I going to get these out? So I chopped the tops off, and actually, look, this one is pushing out a new leaf. And they all have roots growing, so let's look at this one. So this one, which was the smallest cutting, actually has a new leaf that's coming out right there. And it actually has some nice roots. So that's actually not too bad. Yeah, we've got a big one here, we've got a big one there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This one, which was the biggest cutting, also has new growth coming in right there. And it has the beginning of what will be some nice roots. If you can see those right there. So yeah, this will root up nice as well. I'm pretty happy with that. And this was the last cutting. All these pieces on top died while I had it in water. And look at that. There's a nice little root system starting there too. So yeah, these root pretty easily. This is the first time I've rooted Peperomia obtusifolia, but I've read that they're incredibly easy to root. So I am looking forward to seeing just how those do. We also have our SATIN pothos that we've been rooting. All of these ones have roots. I'm not gonna pull them up, but these were the ones that I rooted in this moss. So their roots are kind of covered in the moss as well, but they're doing pretty well. They could also be potted up anytime now, so they will be potted up in my next video. I also have these ones. So these are the ones that I rooted in water, and you can see their crazy roots right there. They've just taken off in the last couple of weeks. So these are also ready to be potted. And I shoved all of the cuttings from both the sphagnum moss and the water that weren't growing into one thing, just to see if they would start growing or if they were duds. And if you look, you can see that they are growing some nice roots. So these ones were just, I guess, slower than the other ones. They were late bloomers, you know? These guys needed some time to find themselves before they pushed out some new growth. Lastly, let's look at our apricots. So I actually potted one of the apricots up, and I'll show that in a video after this, but I have two more seeds in here that I am waiting to see if they will do anything. This one is doing absolutely nothing. It hasn't pushed out anything new. It hasn't cracked. It hasn't done anything. It's just the same as it always was. And this one has cracked, but it's kind of mushy. So I think it might rot actually, which is unfortunate. So I did get one apricot tree out of all of the apricot seeds that I had. But we're gonna let these ones sit a little longer and we'll see if they produce anything. If you're wondering what happened to the MONSTERA cuttings, I actually potted them up. So you can see them right here. They're in their pot. I potted them because the roots started to look like they were going crazy. There was way too many roots and it just needed to be in a pot. And I haven't filmed the potting video yet for the pink princesses, so I just went ahead and potted these up with a nice moss pole. So it's been a couple days and they're doing pretty good. I also potted up that one apricot seed because it was going crazy. It was growing so much, and even now when I first put it in this pot, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, the leaves weren't even out of the soil. They were just like the tips were poking out of the soil, and this is what it looks like now. It's growing so fast. So I'm pretty happy with that too. Also take a look at the mother pink princess plant. So if we take a closer look here, there doesn't seem to be much going on. I think that there is some new growth coming in there. It's kind of hard to see. That looks like something's happening, but again, nothing's really happening on this stalk where we made the cut. Again, I'm not too worried. This is a little bit dry, but tomorrow is my watering day. I'm not too worried. My sister's plant didn't grow for like a year, as I've mentioned before in other videos. So I'm pretty sure that this will perk back up and start growing for me again soon. But yeah, that needs some further investigation because that looks like something's going on there. So I just did some closer inspection, and this is definitely some new growth. I think that might be the start of a new leaf. So that is super exciting. Yeah, that's gonna be good. So I'm glad that that's finally coming back. Let's take a look at this Peperomia Hope. So this was the mother plant that I took all of those cuttings from. So I chopped off the vines. You can see here where I chopped pretty close to this one. This one isn't doing anything, but the other ones, let me show you some of these. So there's this one right here, which is pushing out all this new growth. Yeah, there's some new growth. There's some new growth. We've got new growth over here too. So it's just, I think, the one branch, the one vine that hasn't done anything yet. But everything else is pushing out, oh wait. Okay, so there's two vines that haven't done anything. But I am really surprised at how quickly this plant has come back. Because when I looked at it, I think a week after I took the cuttings, everything looked like this. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? But I'm pretty happy with all this new growth. It's gonna look so good. Yeah, I love this plant. And there you have it, the final Pink Princess propagation video. This is the 4th video in this propagation update series. And it's been really great having you along with me while I have been checking on these and seeing the root growth, as well as some of my other plants. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested in seeing me continue this series, this propagation series, with some of the other stuff that I'm propagating, like this Peperomia Hope and these Philodendron MICANS. I think most of these will be potted up in the next potting video. So there will be some propagations. I always have propagations going on, even in the winter when you're not really supposed to. I've always got things going. So just let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing more propagation videos, even though we will be potting up these pink princesses in the next video. And yeah, thanks for watching with me and accompanying me on this pink princess journey. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for similar content. On Mondays, I post videos about houseplants, and on Fridays, I also post videos about houseplants, and reading, writing, photography, art, and any other generic interests of mine. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. Also, you can find links to H&H Games, the board game company I've helped create, and our debut board game, Season of Heroes. You can also find the Amazon links to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns. Thanks for watching, bye!